customers and a partner for us for the last 2 years. And Jared will also be presenting in this session. Jared is from a company called Copart, and you'll be able to hear a lot about Copart during the course of the session as we move along. So what I want to do is I really want to take you through a perspective that's a systems integrator's perspective, our perspective on where the state of enterprise mobility is. We, as the title puts us, we still believe that it's barely scratching the surface as far as enterprise mobile apps are concerned. A lot of companies doing a lot of interesting things, and to some of these companies' credits, what I'll do is I'll tell you the first thing about, some of the companies are born on the mobile, born on the cloud, and if you look at Uber and if you look at the two main user groups that Uber has, both of them are really only doing mobile. Right, so from that perspective, they're mobile first, and they're realizing that vision early on. And you could consider Uber as a big startup, but it's still a startup. On the other hand, I take this example of a company called Flipkart, which is one of the largest e-commerce retailers in India, and they came out with a statement that in the next 12 months there will be no consumer-facing website. So essentially, their only face to the consumer is a set of mobile apps that are applied on any platform that's available in the marketplace. So having said that, I want to sort of switch gears back to my title and basically say, if I was to look at adoption of mobility in the enterprise, and if I was to look at the maturity of use, we sort of see three things that are happening. The first area is really all about companies that are saying, yes, I have a mobile initiative, but for now I'm okay with mobile optimized websites. I'm doing what I need to do with just that. And these may be internal websites, they may be external websites, and they're just absolutely fine with that. There's some other customers that are basically saying, I'm going to take a more calculated approach, and there are certain functions that we believe should be mobile enabled, be it approvals, be it certain other things that may be core to their enterprise applications, but they're basically mobile enabling bite-sized chunks, if you will, of functionality on their enterprise applications. And then there's a third set which basically is saying, I'm going to embrace mobility for everything that I do, internal and external, and essentially run my business as far as I can on mobile. So be a channel to our customers, be a channel to our employees, make that channel available through the mobile devices. So that's sort of the lay of the land. We still believe it's not mainstream, but I think it's gaining a lot of steam, and you'll see with some of the stuff that Jared presents later on as to how Copart has really gone on a mobile vision and really embraced that vision and gone and executed on that very, very successfully alongside us as PopcornApps helping them do that. So there are obviously concerns for mainstream adoption, and if I was to look at some of these concerns, they remain no different than they were 2 years ago or 5 years ago when mobile really started. So one of the first things is security obviously comes to mind. How do I make my application secure? And as you can see, probably half a dozen companies here that are basically saying, we secure your apps for you. But at the end of the day, what is it that a CSO or somebody in the IT or operations department is going to look at? Does this app meet my security policies at a corporate level or not? And that's key. UI UX is another key example of where people sort of feel that, hey, how can I offer this on a 5-inch device or a 6-inch device, or even an iPad for that matter, that may be an 8 or 10-inch device. So that becomes another key stumbling block, but obviously very addressable. The third area, which is really, really key for large companies that have been around for a long time, is integration. How do I integrate to the back-end systems? I've got 3 third-party systems that are providing certain functions. I need to be able to integrate to those. So integration becomes another key element. In some cases, people have APIs available. In some cases, they don't. But again, all very addressable stuff. We do that day in and day out for some of our customers. Process complexity. Everyone, including myself, would say, I've got very complex processes in my company, right? So that's sort of the nature of the game as far as complexity of a process, whether it's deliberate or otherwise. Processes do become complex, but really, how do you optimize a complex process for touchscreen is where the challenge lies. Analytics. We believe analytics should be inbuilt into the app, so any point that is relevant for a user step has to be tracked and has to be managed from an analytical standpoint. And really, what are you gaining from the app is really actionable insights, not just a bunch of big data problems that you might have. And the last thing, I think last panel talked a little bit about MDM. How do you make sure that your app is deployed securely? If it is, in particular, an app that is available only to your internal enterprise or your partners, then how do you make sure you allow that? So, some of these customers, lot of big names up there, they've put their trust in us. We believe that we do good work for them, continually being engaged with many of them. Jared being the case, we've been with Copart for a little over 2 years now. So I want to take at least two or three case studies that we might have. The first one up that I'm going to talk about is we do work for American Medical Response. They're the largest ambulance operator in the country. They operate in about 40 states, a few hundred counties that they do business in. And their ask of us was, hey, I want to get rid of this big rugged laptop that I carry and the paramedics carry, and I want to replace this with something simple, easy to use. So we created an iPad app, and that iPad app is now being used by paramedics in 2 different counties right now, and as they deploy, they'll go, essentially same instance can be deployed across multiple counties with configuration at the back end. So really great use of mobility, providing mission critical support here to AMR. Next up is Microsoft. We've been engaged with them since the beginning of this year. One of the things that they wanted to do as their first project, they came to us and said, we have this retail experience center that functions as a mall. And in this mall, I've got employees, partners, visitors, customers that come through, but they really don't take away anything. Yeah, they may take brochures, but you may see those brochures lying in the trash can a little bit later on. So we created this app. It uses beacons, it uses NFC technology, and people that are visiting through the retail experience center can take away some of the stuff with them. And have it saved in that app for viewing later, even outside the RSC. We did some work for a company in Vegas. They are a wedding planning company, and essentially what we do is it has 2 sorts of users. One is the hotels and the venue folks that are actually managing and providing the location for the wedding, and the other is all aspects of the wedding vendors that may be doing flowers or cakes or photography or catering and all that. And needless to say that the app is also catering to the bride and groom who may be registered for the wedding. So essentially what I'm trying to do is give you some examples of where we have done some significant mobile work with integration, with security, and all these concerns being addressed already. Now I get to Copart, and I'll talk to you a little bit about Copart, but we got engaged with them through essentially an RFP process where they sent out an RFP and said, we want a mobile partnership to somebody who can do mobile work for us. And it may be for our internal employee-facing apps, or it may be for our customer-facing apps. And we essentially got engaged with them, did some what we call yard app work for them, and have since moved on to their customer member-facing apps. And with that, I'll turn it over to Jared. Jared.
All right, thank you very much. I'll just give you a little background on who we are as a company. We've been in business for 30 years, and then this whole mobile thing came around a few years ago, and we said, well, we need to get into space. So we could either build the whole team internally or look for a partner, and we found a great partner in PopcornApps. And what we were looking for is somebody that we could really trust and introduce us to the mobile space and bring that to our customers' market. We're about $1 billion in sales annually, so it's not a very, it's a high volume operation, so it's very critical to our business. What did mobile do for us? What are we doing today? We are receiving, Copart is an auto remarketing company. We sell vehicles online. And we were just a pure internet play, and now we're doing mobile. And since we introduced mobile a little over 2 years ago, we receive 40% of our traffic and bids on a mobile device, and 30% of our visitors actually come through a mobile device. And having said that, what I want to do is actually show you what the application looks like and how you can interact with it from a member perspective. So as you log on, you get to a main screen here, and there's several different things you can do. And this is all a native application. So this isn't an HTML5, this is actually a native app. We go to a vehicle finder, so you can start by searching and pulling up and doing a search and finding your type of vehicles. I apologize for the display here, but it actually looks really great on an iPad or an iPhone. But you can scroll through the list here and see exactly what information you're trying to look for. You have your main lot information over here on the right-hand side. So it's a very highly interactive interface. If I wanted to go see an auction directly in progress, I can join an auction, and we can see what that auction experience looks like. So this is actually a live auction. This isn't demo. This is actually people out there bidding on these vehicles as we speak here. So you can see actually where it's bid from. It's bid in California, and this car looks like it's getting, it just got outbid. But this is actually our highly interactive auction experience that's built on the mobile platform. What are we doing right now with our user base? Currently, we're only on iOS. We're working with Popcorn to develop this on Android, and we should bring that to market here shortly. So that's just it from a quick overview of what our application is. We want to show a few more features here. So as you're firing up a search here, like a web experience, you can go through save search. So you can actually save your search. Oh, I got to sign in here, so it wants me to go back and we'll sign in. Give me just a second here.
So basically what it does, it allows a bidder to have a view into what the auctions are coming up, maybe a week from now, 2 days from now, and have that in their search list and in their watch list, so that when an auction comes up, a vehicle comes up for auction, they are able to bid on it. And this is all very real time. While it's an auction, it's essentially, as you saw, a car or a vehicle is getting sold in seconds rather than a multi-day scenario which you may see on eBay.
That's right. So I just went to and did a save search. I can go back here and see all my searches that I've saved over time, and these are available on the web. And then I can come over here to mobile, and they're available. I can go into what we call our favorites or our watch list. So you can add stuff to your favorites, and then come over here and scroll through them and see when they're coming up for auction from a very easy user interface.
Thank you, Jared. So we wanted to leave that with you in terms of enabling a company that essentially is saying that mobile is a core part of the strategy, and they've executed on it well. And as you see, the customers have taken up a pretty good liking to the mobile channel. As